Well, I'm delighted to be in Sydney with Todd Greenberg. Thank you, Todd. Todd is the Chief Executive Officer of the NRL. Todd, I'm really delighted that you're
Thanks for having me.
happy to engage with the interview process on the business of trust. And we've explained briefly what we're trying to do. But I'm going to ask you, if I may, Todd, four questions. And the first of which is in relation to our civic principles, our 5 civic principles. If you had to choose one of those civic principles, which one would you choose? Which resonates most strongly with you?
Look, for me, it's quite a simple one. It's all about integrity. For me, it's always been about standing up straight, being honest, being completely honest with both your stakeholders, but also your staff and the people within your care. So when I look at those, there are 5 very important ones, but there's one complete standout, and that's being a person of integrity, because without trust and integrity, I think everything else falls apart.
Fantastic. And you equally apply that through the teams that you oversee too, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I mean, a sport like ours, like all major sports around the world, have a huge distribution of stakeholders, whether they're players, they're the club managers, they're the media, the broadcast partners, but primarily the fans, the people who pay their money every week to come through the gate. So starting with the principles of integrity from the top of the sport, so when the sport speaks, people know that it's honest and it's trustworthy, and what you do is what you say. They're all the principles of what integrity stands for, and I think without that pure fabric in the sport, you won't succeed.
Fantastic. That's a very, very clear answer. Thank you, Todd. And if I then take that down underneath it, as you've seen already, we've got some recommendations. Which of those, as it relates to the integrity pillar, tied to you, which resonates again most widely?
Well, again, I like the last one because it incorporates values. So as a sport here in Australia, we always work through a values-based organisation. What we say is what we do. What are the values that the game stands for, and how does that permeate through the rest of the code? So one of our core values here is inclusiveness. And I say regularly, it's easy to write that word on the wall. It's another one to do it and live it and breathe it. And being inclusive means that everybody's welcome. There's a place on the field for everyone. Whether you want to play the touch form of the game, the tackle form of the game, or be a referee, a coach, or a fan, this game is inclusive. We want all parts to be inclusive. So when I see values-based organisation linked to integrity, that's absolutely fundamentally who we are here.
Good, very good. Strong reconciliation between the two. And if I can take that on, and again, perhaps as you, in your particular role, important role, CEO of NRL, if there was a single silver bullet that you could pop in the garment fire to build that sense of trust and trustworthiness, what would it be?
Look, you may get this through other interviews, but I really genuinely believe it's leadership. And the reason I say leadership is that I think sometimes people confuse leadership and popularity. And for me, they're very different things. It's easy to be popular. It's a different commodity to be a leader. And sometimes leadership makes hard decisions. Sometimes leaderships make unpopular decisions. That doesn't necessarily mean they're wrong though. So I think strong leadership and advocacy at the top leads through the integrity piece, and it's a values-based organisation. When we put those together, I think it's a very strong recipe for success.
Superb. Todd, that's it. You've tied those 3 together very, very effectively indeed. My final question is a simple binary question, and that is in relation to this research and the 5 civic principles that you've read here. What's your view? Do you think that can help in the rebuilding of trust and trustworthiness generally?
On a yes or no, it's an absolute yes. And I think more than yes, it's a must. I think to have success, you must be able to be binary, so it's a yes from me.
Fantastic. Todd, thank you very, very much for engaging in our business of trust program. Really appreciate it.
Lovely. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you very much indeed.